We are back for another episode of Local Festive Traditions, which explores the roots and holiday traditions of local immigrant stories right here in Kennebunk. Each of these stories was researched and written using the local census as well as archival materials here at the Brickstore Museum. Don't forget, you can leave us stories about your own family traditions, questions about the stories that we tell, and discover more of the videos at brickstoremuseum.org/festive traditions. Let's jump back into our story.
Willkommen. Ich heiße Charles Nest. Oh, maybe better I speak in English. Welcome. My name is Charles Nest, and I was born in Germany in 1886 and left home at age 19 to start a new life in America. Germany was one of the biggest sources of immigrants to the United States starting in the late 1600s. As opposed to other ethnic groups, Germans more easily and quickly assimilated to American culture, as we had similar languages and traditions. I'm sure you know that Germans contributed many new traditions to America as well, like hamburgers and hot dogs, for instance. Germany was a large, diverse country of different ethnic groups and occupations, so waves of immigrants came from different areas of Germany for different reasons over the years. While New England was not a hugely popular location for German immigrants, it did draw some farmers, including me. I arrived in New York City in 1905, being able to speak some English already. I took a few years to become a US citizen in 1912, but wasn't able to read or write the English language until the 1930s. When World War I broke out in Europe, I was living in New York. Around that time, German immigrants like me often experienced poor treatment because of our connection to the German Empire. Our allegiance to the United States was questioned. The German language was outlawed in some areas. Some families even changed their names to disguise their heritage. But in the face of this threat, I decided to enlist in the US Army in December 1917 to serve my adopted country. That meant 12 short years after arriving in America, I returned to Europe, this time for battle. I took part in the major offensive called the Meuse-Argonne, fighting against my former homeland and countrymen. While in the Army, I trained as a butcher in the 301st Quartermaster Corps in the Butchery Company. Between 1917 and 1919, I traveled to the front lines of battle and fed thousands of American troops at war. Upon my discharge from the Army in July 1919, I returned to America and traveled to Kennebunk. I met my wife Marjorie Taylor shortly after I arrived, and we married that same year. Our anniversary is coming up. We married on December 27th, 1919. In 1920, we moved to Marjorie's family farm at Alewife Road in Kennebunk's Alewife district with her siblings, George and Mahatable. I became a member of the Weber LaFay American Legion Post and several other organizations in town, and soon became a well-known butcher and cattle dealer in Kennebunk. Between 1921 and 35, we welcomed 7 children to our household, 2 girls and 5 boys. Our descendants still live here in the Kennebunks on the family farm in Alewife. If you are looking for a good butcher, you can even still visit the Nest and Mullen Butcher, passed down in the Nest family on Route 35. With such a large family, I enjoyed celebrating some of my German customs, especially around the holidays. Many of Germany's Christmas traditions are well known to many American households. The Tannenbaum, or Christmas tree, for instance, was a German tradition far before its introduction to the rest of the world in the 1850s. The Advent calendar, too, is a customary countdown to Christmas Day that German families shared. Nutcrackers would feature characters from German folklore. The German traditional Christmas dinner, which includes various different meats, cabbage, and potatoes, and mulled wine called Glühwein. Desserts, always our favorites, included Stollen, gingerbread, hazelnuts, and almonds. Christkindl, a character introduced by Germany's Lutheran Church to replace the Catholic St. Nicholas, was said to be a young child with curly blonde hair. This child is the gift bringer, and children receive their presents on Christmas Eve. Instead of St. Nicholas visiting home on December 6th, which is St. Nicholas Day, the date of Christkindl's visit moved to Christmas Eve. Another piece of folklore I brought from Germany was Krampus Night, which takes place every December 5th. In German folklore, Krampus is a hairy, half-goat devil that appears on December 5th, sometimes accompanied by St. Nicholas. While St. Nicholas looks after the gifts for the good children, Krampus is responsible for the bad children and supplies coal and sticks. This story always served to scare young children into being good. I hope you enjoy all of our Christmas traditions. Fröhliche Weihnachten.